So, hello and welcome to my next chess video. This time I show you the game between Deep Fritz 14 versus GreKo 8.2, and I've let them play this position you see here on the left, and I let them play without opening book or table base, as always, and this position arises after the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, so the Russian defense, Petrov's defense, knight takes e5, d6, knight takes e4, knight takes, and now b takes instead of d takes. D takes is the main move, but b takes we have here. And now the move d5, the first move calculated by GreKo 8.2. And now bishop to d3 was the move chosen by Deep Fritz. GreKo played knight c3. I would have made something different here. Instead of bishop d3, I would have gone d5 to only then go bishop d3. But okay, we have bishop d3 here immediately, and now knight c6. Here I would have gone c5 to play c4 next. But I'm not sure. Probably knight here. And if queen there, pinning the knight, then castling. So if takes, then rook e1 would attack the queen, and if that... Okay, this is probably a problem. Yeah, it is. It's probably a big problem. So c5, what to do there? c4 takes, bishop takes. So c5, I want to check this later. Castles and c3 next. But first bishop d3, check, bishop e3 and bishop there most probably. Queen there, bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight here attacking this pawn here. So this was probably the idea, to give that check, but after c5, not c4, c5, not c4, castling, c4, rook here check, bishop there, and bishop f1, maybe that was the idea, followed up with castles, and now d5. Or different approach to all that, this, and now bishop to e3. And if bishop there, then takes, queen takes, and bishop to f5. This could probably be the idea. And if castling now, then you can still keep this pin, or you exchange and go knight d4. So exchange, no, probably not queen takes, probably pawn takes, and now knight d4 going after that pawn. Rook f3 and queen there. So this is probably the idea, with a quick attack. So c5 is not on, probably. Knight c3 we had, and now castles, and bishop d6 and bishop d6 we had, and now rook fe1, check, probably bishop d3, and now bishop there. This is the idea. Takes, knight here, freeing up this check. Now knight f8, check, g3 and queen there, stopping black from castling. Now you could probably go knight here, because after check, queen takes, knight takes, or probably this is still possible, check, queen takes, Knight takes, now you have to take there, and no, this doesn't work because bishop is on d6, so it's not quite working. So could also go e5, but then queen here comes with a check. If you block with the queen, you should probably blocking with the queen. Takes, knight takes, pawn takes, and d4. It's still quite playable for both sides, this position. Bishop here, h3, bishop there, g5, bishop there, takes, h takes. Not sure. So bishop d3 here is probably a nice move. This position in my database has arisen 3 times. With d takes it was buff 2000, but bishop d3 is interesting. Follow up with knight c6 and castles. Follow up with bishop d6 and now check. Will come bishop e6. You could also go knight e6 most probably. Knight here, c4, knight there. Using the fact that this knight is pinned. c4, knight takes, and bishop d3, bishop a3 going after the pinned piece. And now you have to go into that, and now you have to give up the queen, because after this it doesn't help you. It's just check here, capturing the queen anyway. Queen here takes, and taking there, and material wise black is lost. So we have this check followed up with bishop e6, which is quite interesting. Check, bishop e6, and now rook fb1, going after the b pawn first. Okay, if you go b3, then bishop b3 probably, but then queen there, and but then knight here. So b3 loses a piece, I guess. Let's see, b3, bishop there, queen here, and knight here, and everything is under attack and is falling away. So you'd have to go rook here, and now probably bishop f3, bishop e5, and doesn't really matter, knight here will come anyway. Rook b1, rook b8, and bishop f5 followed up with castling. This is the main line. Here castles, just giving up the pawn. I think Fritz is thinking that this is already much better. No, it's not. Fritz is thinking that it's quite playable for both sides. I would do that. Then knight here. Let's see, king there to defend this piece even more. No, not king here. Let's try knight there to defend. Could go queen here. So rook b8 and bishop f5 followed up with queen f6. Oh, bishop f5 followed up with queen f6. This is better because it attacks the bishop. So takes, and now what? Yeah, probably d5, d4 now. Now castles and bishop g5. Followed up with queen here. Knight there, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop here, queen, pawn takes, queen takes. How is that position actually? And now queen g4. Probably around equal, so you can't go all out. So queen f6. What's the reply? Let's say you go rook takes, and to be able to give that, oh no, you can't give that check. So now you just messed up a whole rook. So what about knight here, defending the bishop? And if takes, then takes, rook takes, king somewhere. I think this doesn't work. So knight here, knight d5 also doesn't work, but you can go g4. g4 looks interesting, and after castles you can go d4. No, you can't. You have to take this. So queen f6. What is Fritz thinking about queen f6? Also quite playable. Bishop takes e6, f takes e6, and queen e2. So yeah, this is logical instead of g4. g4 is not working, but I saw the idea also queen f6 here, and now bishop takes, and queen f3. And now how to defend the pawn, either with a king or with a knight, probably with a knight. But then d4. Castles and knight there. Attack this pawn even more. So rook there. Defending. But everything is disconnected, so let's say queen here. Attacking the rook, so c3. Going after the a pawn, a6, c4. Yeah, this would hang two pawns. Let's say you grab that one, then bishop d3, and you grab yet another one. Doesn't seem to work though. So bishop f5 we have. Another move, bishop takes f5. Bishop takes e6, pawn takes e6. Queen e2, knight d8, and c4. Queen e2, knight d8, and c4 is the plan. c4. Okay, threaten to capture there, so let's capture here. Queen captures. Going after the d6 one more time. But you can safely castle there, no problem. Okay, bishop b6, attacking the queen. Queen there. Still trying to defend. And now what? The problem is everything is defended. Because you don't really want to exchange queens. This is just nothing. And if you take, yeah, you could take this. So d5 is not possible because you're a lot of times on this pawn. But let's see, what can black do here actually? White's position looks to be better. After c4, d takes c4. But if you don't take it, then you'd have to play c3. Now takes, pawn takes, and bishop there, attacking the queen. So queen e8. No knight there, going after that pawn one more time. King here defending, but then this check comes. Could block with knight c3. But now c4 one more time. Now you kind of have to take it. Queen takes. Now you're again 3 times on that pawn, but you can capture, queen captures, and bishop, no, not a4, probably also not b3, because after a3, bishop a7 kicks the rook away from the defense of the b pawn, so you'd have to play b6, but here GreKo played a different move than knight d8, queen e2, not knight d8, but king d7 defending the pawn that way. And now c4 nevertheless. c4. Let's see, okay, if you take, then you take with the queen. So rook here. Takes, and where? Oh, the queen has to go to f8 to keep an eye on the rook. Now rook takes, queen takes, and knight here maybe. Bishop there doesn't do anything because this will come with check. So you probably have to defend and to play this. And then after bishop takes, you can just go d3, and this is probably nothing for white. So there must be a different line here. c4, rook, c4, and queen g6 is what GreKo is thinking of. Queen g6 going after that pawn. Takes. Going after the rook is not advisable because this hangs the knight with check, so kind of have to take it. But this prevents c4 one more time because the rook is hanging. So bishop there, but now you could probably take this in exchange for that one. But if you take it, then you run into severe problems due to that check. Now king here. Is there any bishop check over there? Let's try it. Bishop here check. Have to take it, check. Have to go there. Now one more check, yet again. Now you can block. No, this doesn't work, so you kind of have to take the g pawn, attacking the rook. Rook here, and now this is probably being disastrous. Check here. Check there. Check there. And taking the other rook as well, and black would fall apart. So we have different move here. We have c4, queen f5. So what was the move? Not queen g6, queen f5, now d4 and rook f8. So this is the current board position. Rook h f8. What? Rook b b3. So this is the line. d4 was covering this pawn anyway. c3 now. Wow, c3, not rook b3, but c3, leaving a whole rook en prise. So rook takes, queen takes, king here. This is the only move you can do. And now c3. Oh no, you cannot take the rook anyway because of that. Check, winning the queen. Not only the queen, but this is probably decisive. You have to go there. And now takes, takes with check. No, probably not takes with check, probably just mating. So you cannot take the rook by no means, because just bishop here will crush the black's position. So c3. But going for this cheap trap. I'm not sure what c3 is doing in general. Okay, it kind of frees the knight without hanging the d pawn, so it kind of makes sense. Rook f e8 is what they think. I will capture the d pawn now. And let's again see both evaluations. Rook b2, because now the rook is hanging, so rook b2. D takes c4, queen takes c4, and a6. So this is Fritz line, probably something like b5 now. Queen b3. Knight there, going after this juicy square right here. Queen d1. Knight c5. I don't think that black is worse here in that position. Has everything under control there. White is also not worse, but a3, a3, d5, knight here and knight there. It looks like a logical continuation, but after a3, also a4 is logical to stop this. So a4, and now black has to think for a different plan. This pawn is still under threat, and knight g4 is coming, so h6 was probably, but then knight there attacking the queen. Okay, let's try this. So if the knight could probably move one more time, but you can also defend it with that move. Takes, no you can't, because no, this is just bad. This is just bad. Terribly bad. But you can let the knight hang probably. Rook takes. Okay, you cannot take with the rook because it's check and checkmate. So but what's the threat? There's a threat over there. Check. Or with the queen, it doesn't matter. So probably letting the knight go is not advisable. Queen takes. So we're in this line, and now a6, queen e2. a6, queen e2 is both engines are giving queen e2 now. Going back, probably b5 anyway. b5, knight e5 check. Probably bishop takes. Knight e5, bishop takes, pawn takes. Opening up the d file, so let's say a6 for nothing. Rook here check, king there. Let's say, and bishop cutting all the way across here. Yeah, white is fully developed. This position looks to be better for white, but how much is the other option? a6 is the move here GreKo wants to play. a6, and here they move a6, bishop take, queen takes c4. Why can't I do that? So okay, now a6, queen e2, and b5, queen e2, b5, rook d2. So instead of knight e5, so b5, no, not knight here, but rook there immediately. Preparing knight d5, I will go rook here, and after knight d5 I will capture, and king here, and if the rook captures, then the other rook can capture. And yeah, this knight, it looks to be playable for both sides, this line with bishop d3. It's interesting though. White has got some threats. Probably a4. Rook takes, bishop takes. Now you don't want to take here and allow queen here check. So, but how to actually defend that? Knight here defending, takes, c4, dry, and no, not b4, c4. You still cannot defend it. Queen here would defend it, because knight takes, queen takes. No, it doesn't, because the rook would also hang with a check, and this is now completely busted, of course, for black. So queen e2 we have, and now h6 is the plan, probably. By GreKo, let's see, b5 looks to be playable as well, but b5 a4, I'm not sure. So let's see. Okay, we have b5 here by GreKo. Rook d2 and g5. Rook d2 and g5. This is the idea. But now knight here. Takes, king there. c4, b4. a4. Rook has to keep an eye on that, because this check would just be terrible otherwise. Now, would you take the knight immediately, or first? No, probably queen here check. No, then the knight can escape. Although then d6. Rook here, you have to defend against ace. Okay, you have to take the knight here. And this is probably winning. So why not c4? So why not this line, knight here check? Okay, you have to take it. Knight here and c4. Hey, we had some moves. What were the moves? Because the queen stands now on f1. instead of rook d2. So queen f1, I think this, queen d1, I think this is even more good. So let's try some random move. Knight here check, you have to give up the piece. Now c4. c4 is hitting terribly, because now this pawn is under threat 2 times. And if you go there, then queen a5, a4 attacks the knight. And if the knight moves, then this pawn would hang. And this pawn is also under threat. So you'd have to go rook there, defending everything still. But then bishop d3 attacks the defender. So this is also not working. So you have to do something with the knight. So now finally rook d8 is coming, preparing for knight d5. So rook d8. Knight here check, you have to take it. And you have to go there, but this king is very unsafe. Very unsafe. c4, a4. c4, a4, a4 probably. a4 immediately, opening up lines. Instead of knight e5. Knight e5 can wait, a4 instantly. So threatening this pawn. And if you take, then knight e5 crushes the house. Bishop takes, and king here, followed up with queen there. Attacking the knight. So knight e8. Is rook takes on in that position? Probably not, but rook takes, king takes, rook here. No, but it's very nice. Instead of rook d2, queen e1, queen d1, and now rook d8. So a4 we have on the board. h6, black is just waiting and doing nothing. So yeah, black can only just wait. And white's position is getting superior and superior. Both engines agree that white's position is probably much better now. So rook b2, e2. So h6, rook e2. I would leave the rook there. I would just capture here. And after captures, I would go knight e5, takes with check, queen here. Okay, this would come with an attack on the queen. Let's try queen here. Going after that pawn. Rook there, defending and attacking. Okay, it looks interesting that this doesn't work. Actually, you don't have to do that. Rook d8, a4, h6, because the queen is defending. Now let's see, h6, rook b7, rook b2, e2. Why? Going after that pawn, but how? Is e4 a move? Not quite sure. Rook e2, g5. How is the line continuing? g5. g5, rook e4. Attacking the queen. Attacking the queen. Bishop takes. Knight takes check. let's try this. Bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes check from the queen, so king here. First of all, I would go rook e4, not rook e5, rook e4. Not quite get it. If this, then knight here, takes check, king here, and queen b3 probably. And if you take that, then rook takes, attacking that one. And if this, then probably bishop e3. No, bishop e3 doesn't do anything. Bishop takes h6 you could argue for, but this is quite dangerous. I wouldn't do that. So queen b3 because queen e2. Queen e2 is attacking that pawn also. So knight there, takes, and queen a2. Knight c3, queen here check, could argue for that, but then rook, no, rook here doesn't do so much, so just rook there, but then king here, rook takes, knight takes or rook takes, yeah, knight takes of course. And now rook here, but I think it's all holding. But we have a couple of different moves. We don't have g4, with rook there, and now takes was probably e takes, a takes. Let's see, of course white should be better there, but how much is a question. Should be over soon. B takes c4. Now we have c5 opening up even more lines. King c8 is the top choice, but b takes c4 will be played probably, and then knight e5 check. Knight e5 check, because you don't want to do knight takes, so pawn takes check. So king there. Now probably you have vacated that square for the king, so the king can run to the king side. But now queen here takes the pinned piece, so this doesn't work at all. So you have to go there. Queen here doesn't come with an attack towards the knight. So knight here, only square. Probably rook takes. This looks so bad for black actually. Cannot believe that. Knight e5, bishop takes e5, d takes e5, king c8. Yeah, this is probably not great. But okay, the knight beside of the king is helping out with the defense, I'd say. Now knight e5, and it will be crushing probably. Knight e5, bishop takes, of course, so you don't lose a piece. So knight e5, bishop takes, pawn takes, and now king there. And after this, queen a4 will be the move. Yeah, exactly, this is the line. Seems to be forced. Rook d7. But how to crush this actually? Doesn't look as though that this can be crushed that easily. Let's see how Fritz does it. King c8 will be the move. Very accurate play, I have to say. Let's wait for this position to arise. I'm quite tired at the moment. After this game I'd go to bed. Can't take so long anymore. Fritz has only 6 seconds left. 2, 1. Knight b8. And now they have to start blitzing out moves. Fritz with a superior position there. But I want to check 2 or 3 lines here, especially in the opening. Knight b8, rook takes c4, and queen d3. What? Queen d3 is not possible. Queen f5 to d3. Oh, queen f5 to d3. This is what... So instead of rook here, GreKo gives the line with queen d3. New main line. So this could be the board position. I will go bishop here, attacking that rook. So let's say you go there. Bishop here doesn't work. Queen here doesn't work, I mean. Because then this comes with check, so probably h3 to get some breathing room, because black can't do so much anyway. And now what? Sorry. So let's say h4, queen there. I'm not sure, g4. Takes, queen here, check. No, wait. I will give that check right here. But you have just a bishop and a queen, so I think it doesn't work to sacrifice there. But I can go bishop d6. And if you take that bishop and try to give up the exchange, then this is made. So bishop d3 could bishop e4, bishop a3, yeah, as I suggested. Attacking the rook, rook d7. And after rook d7, bishop to d6 immediately. Bishop d6 immediately. Okay, takes. Queen here, check. Rook there. Queen here, check. Because if you go there, then this picks up the knight. So you'd have to give up the exchange, and after rook d8 check, you have to go there. But this is also bad. No, this is covered by the queen still. But this check will come. This is all covered. Can give up the queen for nothing. Cannot even go back, so you have to go there or somewhere, and after this check it's over. So yeah, bishop d6 is just crushing the position. It's just over now. There you can have a lot of time. Yeah, this bishop d3 instead of d4 in the beginning was quite interesting. This whole concept with rook e1 check, I just discovered this here. Bishop d3, c5, and here castles, c4, rook there, bishop there, and bishop e3 going after the pinned piece. It's just amazing. Bishop f5, castles, bishop takes, and knight e4. And queen there, it's just all coming with an attack. It's awesome. It's awesome play. And GreKo made the best out of this new move. B takes here. And played the move knight c6, castles, bishop d3, and now bishop e6. Followed up with rook b1, rook b8, bishop f5, queen f6, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen e2, and now king d7 was probably bad. Better was probably knight d8. But knight d8 also looks pretty passive. So rook takes. Yeah, rook takes here is the only option. But we had king d7, c4, queen f5, d4, rook there, e3, queen e8. This little maneuver was also probably not advisable. b4, and now queen d1 is also quite a nice move. Rook b d8, a4, h6, be2, g4, rook e4, rook e7, takes, c4 takes, knight here takes, check, king c8, queen there, at b8 takes, rook d to d7, queen d3 was played, bishop there, queen there, and now this interrupting move, bishop d6 takes, and now rook queen e8 check, followed up with rook d8. This is all pretty forced. No, this is not forced. It's busted. I don't see how you can even defend this anymore. If you go there, rook here, okay, you can defend like that. Takes, pawn takes, and queen takes here. This is the best you can get out of this, but this is lost. 3 pawns each, rook versus knight. Okay, now you have to play rook b6. I just spotted this defensive move, otherwise it's mate. Rook c4 to b4 even. Then, yeah, your rook c4, b4, rook b6, rook takes b6, c takes b6, and queen takes e6. This will be the position, and after this arises, I will resign the game for black, because it's completely busted, of course. I would even probably try to take with the rook. Yeah, if the queen takes c6, it's not so interesting anymore. Fritz has played a good game there. Bishop d3. I have to investigate a little bit more time into bishop d3. So here you see the time. 4 minutes for Deep Fritz 14 with the white pieces, and 9 minutes 13 for GreKo, but there you have it. This is completely done. And the thing is, I want to see now the line, other lines here. So let's ask Stockfish the important questions of that game. Deep Fritz, GreKo. Let's ask Stockfish. So we had, this was the opening I gave them, b takes, and now bishop e7, d5, c4, bishop d3, bishop d3 or d4, those are the main moves. Let's go with bishop d3, c4, d4, bishop d3, bishop d3, bishop d6, knight d7, let's go knight c6, castles, bishop d6, rook e1 check, knight here, rook b1, rook there, bishop f5, queen f6, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen e2, and king d7 is already a bad move, a pretty bad move. This is already a very bad position. Knight d8, and now d4, queen f8, c4 takes, a4, b4 takes, queen here. Why not taking the b pawn? That's the question. c3. Yeah, a5 was my idea, so let's push a5. Also castling, I don't see why this is so bad for black. So bishop d8 is, queen d8 is one of the options. Knight here, c4, queen f8, d4, rook there, rook b3, c3. c3 is nice because you can't take the rook. But what I wanted to see is if my ideas here were correct. Bishop d3, c5 still castling, right? Bishop e7, c5, yeah, still castling, yeah. Right, c5, and now e4, rook there, bishop e7 and bishop a3, and white is much better. Bishop e6, bishop takes, queen takes, and bishop there. Knight d7, queen there, castles takes, and white is at least up a pawn. And the other line I was trying to see. Okay, you have to exchange. Yeah, right. Okay, but you are up a pawn in this endgame, if this is the case. The other option I wanted to see is bishop e6 immediately. New variation. Knight d4, attacking the piece. Queen here, let's say. Rook b1. b6. Okay, bishop here, you have c6. But you can just castle. Now bishop c5 and queen a4. b3, queen there, preventing black from castling. This is also preventing black from castling, and this is also preventing black from castling. Now bishop f8, queen there, bishop there, queen there, castles, and rook e1. Bishop there, knight here, finally. Knight takes d3, c6, knight takes, bishop takes, rook there, bishop there, king there, rook there. Okay. It's interesting, but it's not damn it lost. So bishop d3 has some... It's pretty dangerous actually. And let's let Stockfish calculate a little bit. d4 is the critical move, is also critical on c4. But here instead of this you should probably continue with bishop e2, and after d4, b6, c4, knight d7, bishop d3, bishop b6, castles, and rook e1, followed up with something like this. c4, c6, rook there, queen there, takes. What? Oh, because this is hanging. Yeah, but this is bad for black. Bishop a3, queen there, knight there, queen there, and bishop there, followed up with rook there, rook takes, knight f8, f5. Yeah, something like this. Bishop e2, followed up with d4, b6, bishop b5 check. Is here the move? Bishop b5 check. With knight d7, bishop there, preventing from castling, takes, knight here, takes, queen there, h5, takes rook b8, c4, h5. It's interesting, this line is interesting, but the thing is, here is, why don't you take the rook? New variation. Queen takes, a4, castles, a5, bishop there. The problem is you can never really castle. Yeah, okay, so but bishop e7, this with c4, and this guarantees white a small advantage, at least a playable game, so let's delete this. So let's cover all that again. So d4, okay, instead of d5, bishop e7 would have been better with this kind of continuation. And yeah, it's kind of equal. But okay, we had d5 and now bishop d3, which is interesting. The other option is of course d4, and after bishop e7, c4, c5 takes, and bishop e6 and something like this, and it should be also playable for both sides. Bishop d3 is interesting. Now we had the move knight c6, c5, we just entered this castles, bishop d6 check, bishop e7, rook there, bishop f5, and now castling. Queen f6 is not so great, and king d7 is also not nice. Knight d8 is also not nice. There we could have something like this as a continuation with advantage for white. But okay, king d7, c4, d4, and stuff like this, and white is probably much better here. And the point where I really liked this game was here, bishop a3, attacking the rook, rook d7, and bishop d6 is just crushing. It's just an amazing move. Rook takes, pawn takes. Rook takes, queen e8 check. King there, rook b6, rook takes, pawn takes, and queen takes e6. And here I adjusted it because, yeah, there is just nothing to play here anymore. Exchange up, the h-pawn is also hanging, queen d2, one of the moves. But okay, thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.